Hello, and thank you for joining us. To begin this morning, we would like to acknowledge the people whose lands we are gathered on today. The Anishinaabeg, Haudenosaunee, Lenni Pequot, and the Attawandaron people. We would also like to recognize the First Nation communities in this area, which include Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and Munsee Delaware Nation. I'm Sergeant Sandasha Bao, the Media Relations Officer for the London Police Service. Today, we will be sharing information in relation to a recent sexual assault investigation dating back to early June. We ask that you hold all your questions until the end of the press conference, at which time I'll go over a few housekeeping items. I'd now like to welcome Chief Tai Trung, who will commence the press conference with opening remarks. Chief.
Thank you, Sandasha, and I want to thank the media for being here and joining us here today. Today we're going to announce the arrest of an individual who committed a very serious criminal offense in our city. And before we proceed with that announcement and information about the investigation, I want to thank Detective Sergeant Janine Bonnet and her team who have been working so hard in our organization and for this community, the members of the Sexual Assault and Child Abuse Unit, that you will hear very quickly about the amount of work that they have done and how they quickly identified the offender, which you see here today. So thank you to Detective Sergeant Janine Bonnet, her team, who is also here, and the investigators that supported this investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. So this investigation stems from an incident that occurred on June 4th, 2026. Between approximately 11:30 and 11:50 a.m., a woman was walking in the 600 block of Adelaide Street when she was approached by an unknown man who lured her into his vehicle under false pretenses. The woman entered the man's vehicle, and once inside, the man produced a knife, restrained her hands, and transported her to the area of Oxford Street East and Mornington Avenue, where she was sexually assaulted. After the assault, the suspect fled the area in a vehicle, and the victim contacted police. After members of the Uniform Division responded to the call, members of our Sexual Assault and Child Abuse section were reassigned the investigation. Through investigative efforts, descriptions of the suspect and the vehicle were obtained. Video surveillance footage was also reviewed, and the vehicle was identified as a 2014 gray Ford Focus. The suspect was identified and arrested on June 5th, 2026. As a result of that investigation, Gregory Zaire, 44 years, of St. Thomas, was charged with sexual assault with a weapon, forcible confinement, kidnapping, uttering threats of death and bodily harm, assault with a weapon, and possession of a weapon. Following his arrest, the accused remained in custody and continues to remain in custody today. As part of this investigation, investigators have released the accused's name and his photograph. Based on the nature of the allegations and information gathered during the investigation at this stage, investigators cannot rule out the possibility that there may be additional victims or witnesses who have not yet come forward. We recognize that coming forward can be difficult, particularly in cases involving sexual violence, but even information that may seem minor could be significant to our investigation. We are urging anyone who has had contact with Gregory Zaire, who may have experienced a similar interaction, or who has any information about him that may be relevant to this investigation, to contact investigators. As with all criminal investigations, new information can help establish a broader understanding of the circumstances and ensure all available evidence is considered. In addition, we continue to appeal to anyone who is in the areas of Adelaide Street and Pall Mall Street, or Oxford Street East and Mornington Avenue between approximately 11:30 a.m. and noon on June 4th, 2026, and who may have dash cam footage, surveillance footage, or any other information to contact police. As with all investigations, even after charges are laid, if additional information is brought to our attention, the investigation continues. Sexual violence has a significant impact on victims, their families, and the broader community. Incidents such as this can be deeply traumatic, and we want anyone affected by sexual violence to know that support is available. The London Police Service remains committed to a trauma-informed and victim-centered approach to investigations. Our goal is to ensure survivors are heard, supported, and treated with dignity throughout every stage of the investigative process. Again, we want to emphasize that investigators believe there may be additional people who have information relevant to this investigation. If anyone has had contact with the accused, witnessed concerning behavior, experienced a similar encounter, or possesses information they believe may assist investigators, we encourage them to come forward. Information, again, that may seem insignificant to an individual can be extremely valuable when viewed within a broader context of this investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call the London Police or Crime Stoppers. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now take questions from reporters, and we kindly ask that you limit all questions to topics involving this investigation. Please raise your hand, and when called upon, I'll ask for your name and your media outlet, and let me know who you would like to direct your question to. Constable Gavin Dell will come to you with a microphone to ensure that online viewers can hear the question as well.
Dale Carruthers from London Free Press. Thanks, Natasha and Gavin. My question would be for Detective Sergeant Bonnet. Are you able to provide any additional information about these false pretenses that the suspect lured the woman into the car? That could be beneficial for the public to know in case they had a similar interaction.
Well, I would like to provide a little bit more information with regards to that. It is part of the investigation, and it's still before the courts, so I cannot provide that.
Okay. And as a follow-up question, are you able to say whether the accused is known to police or has a record for similar crimes?
I can tell you that this individual is not known to police and does not have a record for similar.
Thank you.
Question over there, Gavin.
Alessio Donini from CBC News, and this is also for the Detective Sergeant. I'm wondering how concerned the London Police Service is about the potential for other victims. We've had other cases that involve an unknown number of victims in sexual assault situations, and police would typically send out a release, contact media directly. I'm just wondering, is this a significant concern?
Well, I think we would say that as all cases are of significant concern for sure. This case is particularly concerning in the fact that they were unknown to each other and the manner in which the sexual assault took place. So that would probably make this an extra concern.
Okay, thank you.
Rita Ismail with CTV News. Without obviously releasing any personal information, how is the victim doing?
I can say that we've had regular communication with the victim. Obviously, this was a very traumatic incident, and we have assisted with providing supports and getting her in touch with resources within London to assist. But it's hard for me to probably articulate how this impacts somebody, so I wouldn't want to speak on her behalf.
Okay, and just a quick follow-up. Obviously, we get a lot of media releases regarding sexual assaults, and this one seems, as you mentioned, they didn't know each other. Is this an effort to be more transparent and work closer with the community to sort of, I know Chief Trong has been trying to, curb femicide and violence against women. Is this presser to sort of highlight that and show the work that's being done?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Rita. And to build upon Alessio's question, so the reason why we're announcing the arrest, it is a serious offense. So sexual assaults in and of itself are major cases, and this one meets the criteria of a threshold investigation. So under the Ontario Major Case Management Model, stranger to stranger sex assaults we have to take elevated, serious look at it, and there's resources that go into investigations such as this. You can imagine sexual assaults in our city in the last, I would say, 5 years. We average between 500 and 600 sexual assault investigations. Last year alone, that number increased above 600, right? So one way to look at that is, oh my gosh, there's a lot of sexual assaults happening and they're increasing. But we look at this from the nature of a trauma-informed understanding of sexual assaults, is that victims and survivors, it's very difficult for them to come forward. So we want to expose all of it. If there's victims and survivors out there, we want to make it so we reduce some of the barriers for them to come forward. So although one would say the numbers are increasing, for us as investigators and the police, we actually want that number to increase because we know it's an underreported crime. So the purpose of today is, one, to announce the seriousness of this investigation, the impact it has to this community. We're looking for more victims and survivors. We're looking for witnesses. We're looking for anyone that has had contact with this individual. It's a very serious investigation. So it's not about transparency. We look at, in the way we release information to the public, we have to look at it from a public safety perspective, and we have to balance the investigation. We can't release information if it's going to jeopardize the investigation and the ongoing nature of it. In this case, he was arrested the very next day. So the public safety perspective we had contained, and it allowed our investigative team to conduct this investigation. It's a very serious investigation.
Thanks, Gavin. So can you give any details, Chief, about his arrest? Was he arrested in St. Thomas? Was it here? Was the tactical unit involved? Any details to provide? Or Detective Sergeant, I guess. Thank you.
I can answer that. He was arrested in St. Thomas with the assistance of some of our other units. Our tactical unit was not involved. St. Thomas did assist us as well.
Okay. And has he had a bail hearing yet, or is that still coming?
Still coming.
Okay.
No, he has not had a bail hearing yet.
And is that part of the concern today, that there's the potential that he could be released on bail, and you want the public to know?
That is always a concern, and I can tell you that we're working really closely with the Crown on providing any assistance we can with regards to any information they require with regards to a bail hearing. But that obviously is before the courts, and we don't have a bail hearing date at this time.
Thank you.
Mike Stubbs, 980 CFPL. Just a point of clarification. Was the victim a minor, or was the victim of age of majority?
The victim was not a minor.
Okay, thank you.
All right, do we have any more questions? Okay, that concludes today's press conference. Again, thank you all for joining us. We'll post the media release on our LPS website and social media channels shortly. And for media outlets joining us online, please send us an email and we can share any additional information if it becomes available. Thank you.